Hi, welcome back to OSB Miniature Studio, and this time I'll be showcasing my APC for my Palanite Enforcers. Hopefully you saw my last video where I painted the Palanite Enforcer squad, and this time I'll be showing how I've kitbashed an Astra Militarum Taurox to form an APC to carry a squad of Palanite Enforcers to wherever they need to deal justice in the Underhive. So without further ado, let's begin. I kitbashed my Palanite Enforcer APC by taking an Astra Militarum Taurox as the base model. To this I've added wheels and axles and the roof bars from a Genestealer Colts Ridge Runner, and then using the Astra Militarum Tank Accessories kit I've added the front dozer blade, smoke launchers and the heavy stubber and searchlight to the roof. I start by zenithal priming the Taurox, and to the interior I provide a flat white primer. I then affix the various parts of the APC to wooden cubes. To begin painting, I use some Army Painter Speed Paint Dark Wood and apply this to all the leather areas, before taking some Army Painter Speed Paint Gravelord Grey and applying this to all of the tyres. The dozer blade is given a base coat of Citadel Dark Reaper. The bull bars, heavy stubber and underside of the APC are airbrushed with some Citadel Lead Belcher to provide a base metallic colour. All of the armour panelling to the exterior of the APC is given a coat of Citadel Contrast Black Templar. And while this is drying, I dry brush all of the tyres. For the unused tyre on the roof, I dry brush this with Army Painter Necromunda Cloak, and to the worn tyres below the APC, these are given first a dry brush of Citadel Skaven Blight Dinge, and then another light dry brush of Citadel Storm Vermin Fur to make these look worn. Taking Army Painter Gunmetal, I paint in all of the metallic parts of the APC, so all of the central spokes and hubs to the wheels, the exhaust pipes, and to the interior, the internal vents and consoles, as well as any door handles, hinges and the front grille of the APC. With the wheels completed, I glue these on now. Taking Vallejo model colour London Grey, I block in all of the armour panels of the APC that I wish to be white, and doing a 50-50 mix of Vallejo model colour London Grey and Citadel Lamium Medium to create a wash and apply this to all of the internal primed elements of the APC. I mix Army Painter Demonic Yellow and Desert Yellow equally to form a sort of English mustard colour, and I apply this to the centre of the dozer blade. I think this took around 3 thin coats to fully cover the Dark Reaper. And then take some 6mm model masking tape. I mask off the hazard stripes on the dozer blade using one of my sculpting tools to ensure these are firmly pressed against the sharp edges. Taking an old dry brush and some Army Painter Matte Black, I stipple on the paint coverage for the hazard stripes. I want this to look very roughly painted on, like it was done by hand. And then I remove the masking tape before taking some dishwasher sponge and a set of tweezers and sponge chipping on some Army Painter Moon Dust, which I then apply with a small brush, some general scratches and chips. Any chips that are too large, I tidy up with some matte black paint. All of the white panels are then given their first mid-tone highlight of Army Painter Ash Grey. I stipple this on roughly, not going to the very edge of the London Grey painted areas, leaving some of that London Grey showing, again to make this look like it was very roughly painted by hand. I also apply this to the headlights. And then taking a damp Army Painter dry brush and applying some ash grey to this, I remove the excess on a piece of hardboard and then overbrush this to the interior, switching to smaller dry brushes for elements such as the cockpit seats and any hard to reach areas of the interior. The dozer blade is then given a wash of Army Painter Dark Tone, before using Army Painter Spaceship Exterior to do the last white highlight to all of the armour panels, again stippling this on and leaving some of the previous ash grey still visible around the edges. spaceship exterior is applied as the final highlight to the headlights also. With the dark tone wash dry on the dozer blade, this is given an overbrush of Citadel Skegadon Green to all of the blue metal areas before applying a final dry brush highlight of Citadel Fenrisian Grey. To highlight all of the black armour on the APC, this is first given a dry brush of Citadel Skaven Blight Dinge, and then a lighter, smaller edge highlight dry brush of Citadel Storm Vermin Fur. The leather seats on the interior are given first a highlight of Army Painter Oakwood before returning with some Army Painter Werewolf Fur for a final edge highlight. Any elements of the APC, such as the tips of the smoke launchers and the jerry cans that are going to be red, are given a base coat of Vallejo model colour black red, and are then given a highlight of Army Painter Dragon Red. I apply some Army Painter Speed Paint Gravelord Grey to the main body of the heavy stubber and to the handles of the hand tools on the outside of the APC. So any metal that I wish to darken down. I then go around all of the metal elements of the APC and give them a fine edge highlight using Vallejo Model Air Chrome. I also apply the Model Air Chrome to all of the chips and bullet indentations I've added to the exterior hull. These have been done with the tip of a scalpel blade and battle damage to the APC. To paint the bullets on the heavy stubber, I first apply Army Painter Greedy Gold before giving each of the casings a highlight of Vallejo model colour Glorious Gold. And for the ammo belt in the middle, this is given a base colour of Army Painter Banshee Brown before applying highlights of Army Painter Skeleton Bone and a very fine edge highlight of Army Painter Drake Tooth. The heavy stubber is then given a wash of equal parts Army Painter Dark Tone, Army Painter Flesh Tone and Lamian Medium. All of the console screens on the interior of the APC are given a base colour of Citadel Skegadon Green, and then taking transfers and decals from both the Palanite Enforcers kit and the Astra Militarum transfer sheet that came with the Taurox, I cut out the transfers that I want and I soak these in clean water before picking these up with the end of a scalpel, applying clean water to the area I wish to slide the decal on, and then gently sliding these into place with a clean damp brush. Once the decals are dry, these are all given a coat of Army Painter matte brush on varnish to seal them before applying a sponge chip of Army Painter Spaceship Exterior to the decals, and then a sponge chip of Army Painter Matte Black to the white painted elements of the APC. I then use AK Streaking Grime to apply an enamel wash to the entire underside of the APC. I then create a warm and gritty toned wash by mixing together equal parts Sanasaur Odorless thinners, AK Neutral Grey and AK Rust Streak. This is similar to the magic wash that I applied to most of my models. This is a nice warm dirty tone to apply to your models to unify the paint scheme. I then take some makeup sponges and eye makeup brushes and remove the enamel wash after 30 minutes with some clean Sanasaur Odorless spirits, making sure to work in a downwards motion or in the same direction across the piece to create streaks of grime. For some areas like this large flat internal roof, I use a mopping motion followed by a dabbing motion. 24 hours later, once all the enamel is dry, I come back in with some final sponge chipping, first using Barbarian Flesh to the red painted areas, before providing a sponge chip of Vallejo Model Air Chrome to all of the black painted armour panels and the heavy stubber, mainly concentrating on the edges of the armour panels. I then have these two Palanite Enforcer crew members to add into the APC. For how I painted these, please refer to my How I Paint Palanite Enforcers tutorial. For the corpse of the gunner that's sticking out the roof on this diorama, I use him to magnetize the roof so that I can remove it to reveal the interior of the APC. First by applying some green stuff to the base of the model, and then using a wooden block I squash a magnet into this green stuff while it's still curing, before super gluing the corresponding magnet into this pre-drilled hole in the gunner's seat. With the gunner glued into place on the roof and the heavy stubber also glued into place to hold the gunner down, the magnetization of the roof is now complete and can be removed at any time to reveal the interior of the APC. For this blown out spotlight on the roof, I give the interior of this a brush of Hombro black weathering powder before taking a mobile phone screen protector that I carefully cut into shape with a pair of scissors. Take care when doing this, this is real glass, it can be sharp. I apply bullet damage to this as well by carefully drilling in some bullet holes with a hobby drill. Once I've cut this to the right shape, I glue this in place with some PVA glue. To complete the internal console screens, these are first given an edge highlight of Army Painter Hydra Turquoise before coming in with some Army Painter Toxic Mist to the final sharp edge highlight, and also draw on any graphics on these radar screens. So I'm drawing on like the grid radar lines and any text I want to show up on these screens. I provide the final dots on these radar screens with some Army Painter Blood Red. I apply Army Painter Speed Paint Zealot Yellow to the headlights and their surrounding casings for a rough OSL effect, and then paint the headlights and screens with a coat of Citadel Hard Coat to provide a gloss finish. And for these rooftop lights on the APC interior, these are first given an airbrush of Liquitex Titanium White and then followed up by an airbrush of Citadel Corolla Green shade. Provide a dull bluish green light. And with this, the model is complete and we'll move on to the showcase. Hey guys, many thanks for staying to the end of the video. If you made it this far, why don't you consider leaving me a like or a comment below? I do read them all and respond to as many of them as I can, and it's always good to hear if there's been anything in the video that was useful to you or what you're currently working on. So please do like, subscribe, all those good things that make me feel good. It's much appreciated. Alternatively, you can find me over on Instagram, where I try to post photos of these projects as well. But all that's left to say is, without any further ado, you are a wonderful person who's definitely destined for hobby greatness, and I'll catch you next time. Take care.